Yo, how is it going, everyone? Welcome back to my hallucinatory Valorant news video. Today we have the patch that should have came yesterday, but hey, Riot just wanted to shake up the schedule, so why not mess around and release the patch today? It's patch 2.03 and has some very surprising changes, from Reyna being nerfed to slight reworks to both the Stinger and the Marshall, and the first balancing pass for the new kid on the block, Yoru. This patch is a huge one, so you won't want to miss out on this one. But before we get too stuck in, we have our question of the day. With an introduction of escalation in this patch, I got game modes on my mind. What's a new game mode you'd like to see in Valorant? For me, I really want variations added to deathmatch. I think there should be a chance that each time you start a deathmatch, it has certain modifiers enabled, like headshots only or pistols only. These are cornerstones of the warm-up experience in CSGO, and I find them sorely missed in Valorant. Especially on the pistol front, as there's basically no way to practice pistol play other than going against gamers with heartbeat sensors and 1000% volume in standard deathmatch. But hey, that's just me. Let me know what y'all want in those comments down below. Alrighty then, let's get stuck right in. As usual for Valorant patches, big thanks to the Riot Korea YouTube channel for the amazing, informative visual patch note videos they release alongside each update. They are fantastic for showing changes ahead of them being live. As forecasted in the recent State of the Ages article, Yoru and Reyna are up on the chopping block today. Starting with Reyna, it seems Riot's goal was to fix one key annoyance with her kit, that being players stealing kills damaged by the Reyna player and thus depriving them of her precious orbs, and 2, reduce the spammability of her heal and immunity abilities and reduce her overall effectiveness as a pub stomp agent. So with that, her maximum devour and dismiss charges have been reduced from 4 to 2, and slain enemies that Reyna has damaged in the last 3 seconds now drop soul orbs, even if the Reyna does not land that killing shot. Finally, the cost of her orb charges have been increased from 100 to 200 credits. Now these are some fantastic changes. I see it in virtually every video we talk about the state of the game and game balance. Reyna has been running amok in ranked for some time, and you guys have definitely let us know. She's the go-to smurf agent, and the main of every player who drops 30s consistently, and every player who thinks they drop 30s consistently. She could be overwhelming and incredibly frustrating to deal with at times, so I'm glad Riot took some steps to bring her more in line with other agents' power. Losing 2 charges and having to still pay the same amount total for your charges is a great way to force Reyna into more economic choices, especially during the pistol round, which I really like. The only thing that seems suspect to me is the assist dropping orbs mechanic. I understand the frustration of not getting the final blows, but part of the intel game of playing against Reyna is tracking her final blows to know when she gets buffed by Devour or about to skirt out with Dismiss. I wish there was some way to see or be indicated in the kill feed that Reyna got one of those orbs spawned via the assist mechanic, but maybe that's a change for another day. All in all, these are some good nerfs to a very strong character, so how are you Reyna mains feeling about this, as well as those who routinely get tattooed by said Reyna mains? Let me know in those comments down below. Now, off the rip with these Yoru changes, I really like that Riot state flat out that these are not the bigger changes that he needs, but are some quality of life changes to make it feel better right now while the bigger reworks come later down the line. As we've covered previously, Yoru is in a bad spot, but it's good to know it's on Riot's radar regardless. Jumping right in, Yoru's Gate Crash teleport has been updated to now have a small radius on the minimap displaying the range at which it can be seen and heard by enemy players. To go along with this, Yoru's ultimate dimensional drift now displays Yoru's minimap instead of the near sight blinding effect, and this will now allow the enemies seen by Yoru to be visible to friendly players on their minimap as well. This was done to better help players lacking in voice communications have a more hands-free way of communicating what they see from the Shadow Realm. Finally, while his ultimate is active, you can no longer body block players, which was a funny thing to do, but definitely annoying to the person being trapped in elbow. All in all, these are very good changes for Yoru, but they definitely won't shift his viability hardly at all. Still though, it's a start, and that's far more than can be said for Skye. Riot. Finally, for agents, we got one small quality of life change. Both Brimstone and Phoenix are having their Molotov abilities audio tweaked, so that they no longer get drowned out when other sounds occur nearby. This is a great change because sometimes you're walking through a war zone, there's 500 flashes going off, you hear the breaches raining in like the missiles during the bombing, shifting through 10,000 smokes, trying to creep back home to cover, and boom, fire bad, you're walking through lava. You didn't hear a thing, but you can feel the fire bad. This should be a fix for that, so thank you, I appreciate it. And with these agent changes coming through, now's the best time to master all the best tricks and setups for your favorite ranked main. Head to SkillCapped.com to get access to the tools you need to get the rank you've always wanted, so start today at the link down below. Moving to weapon changes, we got some hot ones here, my friends. Starting off with the Prodigal Son for jet mains everywhere, the Marshall. Riot wanted to give this weapon a more defined role as a cheap hit and run sniper, so to go with that, the movement speed when zoomed is now 90% of unzoomed movement speed instead of 76 previously. The price has been lowered to 1000 credits instead of 1100, and the scope zoom has been upped from 2.5 times to 3.5 times. I really like these changes. A zoom increase, at least for me, helps for getting those longer range picks, and the price change makes these suckers even more dirt cheap than they already were. Hopefully the movement speed adjustment makes the existential pain of tagging not as bad. I still think maybe some form of accuracy changes could help this gun as well. I don't think we need run and gun from the Marshal, but it being a bit accurate faster when going from movement to a standstill, especially compared to the Operator, would help it feel faster than the Operator, which it currently doesn't in my opinion. They feel very similar, just obviously the Operator you only have to hit the meat in the center, whereas you need to start picking off grapes with the Marshal. Speaking of opinions, I've made it clear that the Stinger is the unholy demon wreaking havoc on Valorant left, right, and center, and thankfully, despite my predictions that Riot wouldn't make significant enough changes, the Stinger has been changed in huge ways, with the goal to make it overall less accurate, less of a buzzsaw of unlimited damage, and to actually differentiate when you should use its alternate firing mode. Firstly, the price went up to 1100 credits from 1000. The full auto or hipfire fire rate has been reduced from 18 rounds a second to 16. The full auto mode now reaches max spread or max inaccuracy at bullet 4 instead of bullet 6. Finally, the vertical recoil curve now climbs more aggressively past the third bullet, as well as the horizontal recoil being more random overall. But that's not all. The burst mode has had its recoil vertically made more aggressive after the first burst, and the spread or error has been increased after the first burst. But as a compensation, the accuracy recovers slightly faster overall between bursts, going from 0.45 to 0.4. Whew. Oh man. Remember how I said they needed to hit this thing and hit it hard? This is a nerf. This successfully isolates the hipfire of the Stinger to a closer range, and makes the literal laser beam burst fire feel like less free real estate. The damage is admittedly the same, but the rate of fire change does decrease the DPS slightly. The recoil changes especially will definitely force players to consider stopping their movement to better control the full auto spray, or even burst fire in scenarios where previously you would just 80 straight back and forth like a madman and AC-130 everything in sight. I'm really excited to see how this plays out in actual games, but these are very promising changes on the surface. Finally, for weapons, as we've covered in a leak, the Frenzy is now 500 credits to help promote more buying choice in pistol rounds. And that's all we have for balance changes in this patch. This is a great set of changes. Let me know how you're feeling about them, specifically those Stinger changes in them comments. Alright, that's kind of the bulk of this patch out of the way, so let's go into maximum overdrive. Let's rapid fire some of these changes and let's get this done. Escalation goes live in patch 2.03, the quickest run through of all time I can give you. Escalation is a 5v5 team deathmatch game mode where you and your team work through tiers of random weapons and abilities and fight to get the most kills and climb tiers the fastest. It's a limited time mode for now, but Riot are open to keeping it on long term based on community feedback. In competitive news, AFK in competitive games for a long period currently defined as 6 or more rounds will now give a penalty of 8 rank rating points. This hopefully strikes a balance of not punishing folks for an internet or hardware issue, but still punish the real offenders. Also, your ACT ranked badge now displays your highest rank win, not your 9th best win. In quality of life news, all sprays are destroyed on round start. Ooh, okay. Glad we solved that problem. The death sequence, or what happens in between you getting domed by that jet and becoming a spectator to that jet's rampage, has had a few changes to make the experience and camera movements less jarring, as well as a huge bug fix that would cause huge camera jitters when lagging or at high ping. I've seen that once, and it was wretched, and I'm glad to see it fixed. And here we are, it's the main event, it's time for bug fixes. Let's really crank up the speed here. Fixed Yoru's decoy having slightly different footsteps than Yoru himself. Fixed the in-world indicator for Cypher's cage disappearing if it took damage. Fixed Sova's drone clipping through level geometry and viewing the other side of walls. Fixed when players already affected by nearsight momentarily being able to see inside smokes that should have inflicted nearsight on them. Thank you, I knew this was happening. Fixed an issue where Sky's Seekers would break if she was killed during a specific moment while casting them. Cool, now buffer please, Riot. Fix an issue where Yoru was unable to equip weapons or abilities if he cancelled his ultimate right as its buffs activated. Killjoy's lockdown no longer gets to hide inside sage walls in some instances. The wall now breaks instead of hiding the lockdown. Fixed Yoru dropping into the void when teleporting to his gate crash as it expired. I was right! Woo! Fixed when Yoru's footsteps will sometimes fall through the floor when placed in the stationary mode. Dude, does Yoru even believe in floors? Fixed Sova sometimes triggering his Hunter's Fury callout even though it wasn't used by trying to use his Owl drone at the same time. The endgame screen no longer displays average abilities cast per round as 0. The holy grail has been found. Fixed a couple input bugs around possessing and unpossessing objects like cipher cams and Sova drones in the same frame, which led to locking all inputs or locking view directions. Let's freaking go, boys. The days of cipher cameras, trapping ciphers, and eternal damnation are over. Fixed issues where certain settings would not display well in game. And finally, your player icon color is now white on the minimap if you turn on any colorblind settings. And fixed a few input issues that will cause players to get stuck using orbs or planting the spike. Whew. And that's all we have for today. I'm tired, my voice hurts, but we got her done, boys. Let me know how you feel about the stuff and the things in the comments. I'll be in there sometimes, maybe, probably. Actually, yes, I will. I'm just kind of joking around right now, but I will be in those comments. Like and subscribe as well for more premium news and guides just like this one, with one goal in mind, helping you become a better player. We here at SkillCapped would like to thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.